leaving a legacy and impact in the world can be described as touching lives or being remembered. If you don't want that, if you don't like that idea, then you have to make the decision to improve your own situation so you're not only just surviving, you're thriving. But you've got to grow as a person and get out of that survival mode and into thriving mode for that to happen, to get you out of being in this middle-aged and miserable survival mode. You know, you could be going around the motions of the daily grind, middle-aged, and you start thinking, what am I doing here? Am I, like we thought, are we just going to work? Am I going to work in this job for another 20 years? Most people don't think about their legacy because they're just surviving. And unfortunately, if you stay in survival mode, then you won't leave much of a legacy.
Okay, so what are we talking about today, Chris?
Let's talk about our mission.
Okay.
And our mission is to realize middle-aged men's untapped potential so they can achieve greater success and lasting impact through personal growth and mindset training.
Wow. Greater success and lasting impact. Let's unpack that a little bit, shall we?
Yeah, let's talk about impact today. Impact and legacy. And what are you going to leave behind when you leave this life?
Mm-hmm. Most people aren't thinking that, though.
No. I got an example, though, that might help them think about it, though.
All right.
So this is in quite a lot of books. Imagine if you are that your life stayed on its current path all the way until the end of your life. You're on your deathbed, all your family's around you, and you just, it's the end. And you pause for a moment and you look back on your life and you ask yourself, how do you feel about it? Do you feel satisfied and proud of your life? Did you touch the lives the way you wanted to touch lives? Are you leaving the impact you wanted to leave? And are you proud of your life? Or did you struggle? Did you not quite do everything you thought you would do? And are you okay dying having not left the impact you wanted to in the world?
I love that. Another way of saying it is, it's if you were to continue living life as you are currently, at the end of your life, would you be happy with the life you've led?
Yeah.
Would you be happy with the legacy that you have left, if any?
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, side note on that. One thing's for sure, as you're laying there on your deathbed, you're not going to be wishing you spent more time on social media or watching Netflix, are you?
Or wishing you spent more time in the office.
Yeah, I mean, that in itself is thought-provoking.
Yeah. All right, so what do you mean by leaving a legacy? What is a legacy for you?
Well, leaving a legacy and impact in the world can be described as touching lives or leaving behind something for others or being remembered. You know, something about you is living on long after you've gone in the hearts and minds of others.
Mm. So again, most people aren't thinking about leaving a legacy. They're not wandering around thinking, I'm going to make more impact in my life. I need to touch more people and help more people. It's not something that most people think about every day, really.
No, I think that's because most people are not in a great spot. You know, they might be miserable in a job they dislike. They might be stressed out by life, marriage, kids, responsibilities, and their head might be filled with negative thoughts. You know, people in this position will obviously not think about their legacy. It's a bit like the scenario on a plane when you're asked to put on your own oxygen mask before helping your child. The thought being that if you're incapacitated, you can't help others. Likewise, if you're just holding your head above water in life due to the pressures of life and you're just surviving, then you're not in a position to help others or really leave any kind of lasting impact in life.
So most people, what you're saying, most people are just spending all their lives struggling to put on their own oxygen mask. It's kind of...
Yeah, I mean, it might sound harsh, but if a person is not in a great spot in life, by default, they're kind of only thinking about themselves.
Yeah. But not in a selfish way.
Not in a selfish sense. No, it's just that they're thinking about themselves because they're just surviving. They don't have the capacity to think of others or do things that could create impact on others. Yeah. And unfortunately, just surviving is not a great path to leaving a great legacy. You know, because if someone stays like this in survival mode, they ultimately won't leave a great legacy.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want that. I didn't want to spend my entire life fumbling with my own oxygen mask and everybody else is perishing next to me. I didn't like that idea.
Yeah. So if you don't want that, if you don't like that idea, then you have to make the decision to improve your own situation. So you're not only just surviving, you're thriving. And it's only then that you can fulfill the potential that we all have and leave a massive legacy. But you've got to grow as a person and get out of that survival mode and into thriving mode for that to happen.
Oh, well, how do you do that though?
Well, to get into thriving mode, you've got to stabilize your health. You've got to learn stuff. You've got to upgrade your mindset, and you've got to take the action needed to get you out of being in this middle-aged and miserable survival mode. Then you'll be thriving.
So what you're saying is that once you're breathing oxygen again with a mask that's actually working and you're thriving, you're saying that at that point you're able to leave a legacy or think about leaving a legacy then?
Yeah, because what happens is you become more stable and more content in life, and then you start to look at the bigger picture. With your own life in order, you start to think of others, and you start to think, well, how can I help them too? You begin to think about you're making a bigger impact in the world, and you put an eye towards what kind of legacy can you leave once you're gone.
So that's quite thought-provoking, and I guess for me, what would an impactful life look like? And I guess for me, it's a fairly straightforward one. My immediate family, that I as a father, as a husband, my legacy, it lives on in my family, my kids, the way I raised them, the way I educated them. That's kind of how I would have seen it.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that, and that's admirable. But you've got way more potential than that. People who leave a real impact footprint in the world think way beyond their immediate families.
Yeah,
and everybody on this earth can do that.
Yeah, I mean that's how it started. In fact, we kind of go through that by default as family men, and the small reach that we have, the small impact. I say small impact. It's your immediate family. It's the people closest to you, like my kids and my wife, my close friends, like you, for example. So that's what I would call this to have a small reach in my impact on my legacy. But then what you and I have talked about in the past is we've gone beyond that. There's a medium reach where, okay, we've got some of the businesses that we have employed people, so we have a larger reach, we have a larger impact, and we leave a larger legacy. But in work as well, in my main job, I'm leaving a legacy there to an extent in that I'm educating and teaching people. But this has gone even further. What we're doing now, this podcast, for example, is leaving potentially millions, ideally millions of people, and we're producing something that will last forever. As long as YouTube or the internet lasts forever. And that reminds me of somebody like Elon Musk, for example. Not that I'm comparing myself to Elon Musk, but he's got such a reach, such a massive legacy. He's transformational.
Yeah.
That's inspirational.
Yeah, and I think a key point is that to really leave a massive impact, you have to find your true purpose in life. Because your true purpose, when you're working on your true purpose, it won't seem like work. You'll feel completely at home doing it. And this in turn means that you'll pour your energy into it and create huge waves of impact.
Yeah. I love that. So that's deep. How do you find your true purpose though? It's very deep.
Yeah, we all have one. We all have a true purpose. And for most people, it's been nagging at you for years. It's a problem you want to solve. And it's a problem that specifically affects a group of people that you feel compelled to serve. It could be unprivileged youth. It could be people with certain health conditions. It could be a group affected by something that your loved one has gone through. Whatever speaks to you and motivates you is your true purpose.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it took us a while to get to this point, in fact. But I guess you could say that our true purpose is to help middle-aged miserable men, get out from where they are, get out from the jobs they're stuck in or the jobs they hate, and the feeling of having no purpose in life. To you said that in the mission to untap their potential, and I think that resonates with us more because we were in that group.
We were definitely in that
We were
group.
middle-aged, miserable men.
Yeah, exactly. So, you got to ask yourself, what group are you in? What occupies your thoughts as a problem that needs to be solved that you could help fix? And what group of people do you feel compelled to help? Because that could help you find your true purpose in life.
Yeah. All right. How did you do that then?
Well, once you've got your true purpose, some of the things you could do is you could write an ebook. You could create an online platform. You could join a group and significantly contribute to it. You could start a group.
Right.
What could you create or contribute to that could live long after you're gone? You're middle-aged. You're not going to live forever. You should think of this now. The time to start is now.
Yeah, true. But like ourselves, go back a few years now, most people are struggling. Most people are fumbling around for most of their lives, struggling to put their own oxygen mask on, and because we've all got enough on our plates. And I was the same. I remember it. And I was stressed out and I was generally unhappy. And
well, what if being stressed and unhappy and miserable and struggling, what if that could somehow be fixed? If you started thinking about impact, because the two things are kind of linked.
All right. How?
Well, if you're thinking about your legacy, it kind of reframes. It makes you reframe what you're doing in your life. You could be going through the motions of the daily grind, and you're just going to work and just doing the things you're doing. But a question like your legacy can make you take a step back, and you could say, what am I here for? Am I here to do this job and do this grind? Is this my legacy, or should my life be more than this?
So the mere fact that you're starting to think about that gets the wheel turning in your mind, and it redirects maybe your focus towards helping others, and rather than just dealing with what's going on in your day-to-day life and what's wrong with your life right now. Are you saying that the fact that you thinking bigger now is actually going to make you happier?
Yeah, well, I mean, you get to middle age and you start thinking, what am I doing here? Am I like we thought?
That's true.
Are we just going to work? Am I going to work in this job for another 20 years?
Yeah.
Or what's my real purpose here? What could I do? What could I achieve?
Yeah.
And we started reading books, and it motivated us, and we realized the potential that we had dormant. And so once you start thinking about these things, it can refocus your reticular activating system filter, and you'll start to see opportunities, places, and events that could lead you to maybe it's a potential career change, or maybe pursue an opportunity that could help you, create more impact or live something that's more aligned with your life purpose. Yeah. Maybe you could start a side business, a blog, or build a community online that could turn into something huge.
Yeah. We should talk about the reticular activating system some other time.
We will do that in a future podcast.
Yeah.
So, like us, we stumbled across, the group we wanted to help, which was middle-aged men, because we started going to F3, which is a national set of workout and international workout group. And so at the end of the workout, there's a circle and we all talk.
Right.
And sometimes somebody says something from the heart, and we realize there are a lot of middle-aged men that are struggling.
Absolutely. That's true. Yeah. There are a lot of people struggling. We were struggling as well. And like you said, we deliberately decided, we took deliberate action. We read a bunch of self-help books, like 50, 60 something self-help books, read as in listened to on Audible. But still, you're taking that information and you're learning new stuff. And we got fitter, and it completely put us on a completely new trajectory. And it gave us a sense of purpose and meaning to our lives. And we grew from that over the years. I remember it vividly, how I would just bounce out of bed when I had this passion project to do. And we felt, I don't know about you, but I felt so good about, in fact, we both feel the same because we're doing this now. We felt so good about what we've achieved and where we have arrived and what we're doing with our lives that we wanted to help others do the same.
Exactly. And create a wider impact in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so let's summarize what we talked about. We spoke about creating a legacy, and most people don't think about their legacy because they're just surviving. And unfortunately, if you stay in survival mode, then you won't leave much of a legacy.
Learn to put your oxygen mask on.
Exactly. So you've got to kind of work on yourself so that you're thriving, and only then you'll focus on the bigger picture and try to help others.
And we all have a true purpose as well. And when you're working on your true purpose and you found it, it doesn't seem like work. And we know there's always people out there that we all feel compelled to help and serve.
Yeah, and when you find that true purpose and the group that you feel compelled to serve, then you'll start working towards that dramatically larger impact footprint.
Yeah,
and you'll leave a great legacy.
Love it.
Shall we leave it with a quote, Pat?
Go on then.
All right, this is from Andy Warhol. So the idea is not to live forever, but to create something that will.
That's good. Okay, so being in America as two Brits, we see strange observations.
We see strange stuff.
We do.
Right. Americans have fantastic internal compasses.
All right. Okay, you're gonna have to explain what you mean by that.
Okay, I was in the grocery store once, right? And I say a grocery store, it's a massive warehouse, right? And I was in one of the aisles.
This isn't a corner shop.
No, it's not a corner shop.
Yeah, right.
And I asked, there was a lady crouched down, stacking shelves. And I said, excuse me, could you tell me where the milk is, please? And she didn't look at me. She just said, it's in the northeast corner of the store. And I was like, I was expecting her to say, oh yeah, just go down this aisle, turn left when you see the bread. And then it's just like,
northeast.
Yeah. I mean, how am I supposed to know? I'm in a warehouse. The aisles are stacked high with cereal. How am I supposed to know which way north is? I mean, I don't know. I thought she would just tell me relative to where I was standing now and not relative to the polar ice caps.
Yeah. Just it's down aisle 2.
Yeah.
Halfway down aisle 2. That's all we need, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's we don't do that in England at
No.
all. We don't refer to north, south, east. Like I go where my parents live in Marlborough. There's the main high street's dead straight, and never once have I heard my parents ever say, "Oh, I'm in Waitrose car park. It's just south of the Waitrose."
Yeah. Come and meet us at the southeast corner of the parking lot.
No
one would know where to go.
Nobody actually says
because
that.
Our roads in Europe, well, England and Europe, they're spaghetti. Well, our countries are not built on the grid system that America is, because America's quite a new country. Yeah. So all of the roads run up and down and side to side. So it's easy just to reference a place with north, east, southwest. Yeah. We don't do that.
Yeah. I asked somebody we went out at the pub the other day and asked, so when you're parking your car on the side of the street here in America, and there's a sign that says no parking west of here, and I said, do you immediately know where that is? And every one of them were like, well, yeah.
I have no idea.
Neither do I. I'm like, okay, so west of here, okay, so the sun sets over there, so that's the west. So that must mean the west is I can't park my car there. Okay, so I'm all right where.
You shouldn't have to be working stuff out. It should say no parking and then an arrow.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's simple. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a couple of strange things. Positive observation.
All right.
America is the land of service.
Oh, yeah, without doubt.
Like I mentioned, a supermarket. Yeah. That same supermarket, you go to pay. Yeah. They're stood up. They're motivated. They snap open that bag and
they pack your bags for you.
Good luck getting that when you're in England or France. Just gets shoved down the conveyor belt, and you have to deal with it.
That reminds me, it's slightly related, but I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here. Now, there's a buddy of mine who came out to visit me on holiday, and he kind of gets all flustered. And under pressure situations, and they used to ask you, "Do you want paper or plastic?"
Yeah,
do you remember that at the store, grocery stores here? And the lady said, "So you're checking out," and she actually said it differently. She said, thank you. What kind of bag would you like?" And he's all flustered, and he's like, "A nice strong one, please,"
in a total British accent.
That's what he said. Well, yeah, they were really nice people about it.
Yeah. So there's a positive observation about America. Land of service, everyone's motivated.
Yeah.
And we love it for that.
Oh, yeah, we do. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you heard, please like and subscribe so you never miss another episode. Also, check out our social media content for more ways to avoid being middle-aged and miserable.